Welcome back to Tarot by the Bay. I'm David. Okay, this is going to be a reading on Liz Cheney and Nikki Haley. It appears the girls are fighting. Before I get into that, there was a request made on the Twin Tarot channel. Yes, I have a Twin Tarot channel with my identical twin brother Gary. I know, stunning. You never knew about this, right? Go check it out at Twin Tarot with Gary and David. We put up a video a day, the same time these videos come out, midnight Pacific time, and watch the mayhem as frickin' frack, as our mother used to call us, read tarot cards together, get a little snarky, and try to have some fun. Tarot, unfortunately, gets rather serious on you, so it does tend to crush the snarky factor, but we do have our fun. Other thing I wanted to throw out there was I had Eleanor Wittering post up on the channel and asked if I would ask my audience to send energy, wisdom, love, and stamina to Kamala Harris for during the debate, before and during the debate. And I think that's a very thoughtful way of framing it. You know, again, we saw what happened with Biden, and we don't want a repeat of that. So Trump is going to go on the attack, send her white light, protective light, and then, like many of his attacks all through August and beginning of September, nothing sticks to her. It just bounces off, and it comes across as weird. This is like his last best chance to try and attack her. So send her light, send her love and peace and calm, so that we're getting that higher vibration up. And that hopefully will be felt and seen by the viewers watching the debate and point them towards the path of higher vibration. Okay? Now, going to the path of lower vibration, because that's where the fun is, apparently. Sorry, it's kind of a segue there. Nikki Haley was defending her position for supporting President Trump is based on substance after Liz Cheney criticized her position. Cheney said she can't understand why Haley his position on the 2024 race is to support Trump. Is it based on any type of principled way? Liz Cheney's like, I can't look at you and say, how can you in a principled manner support Donald Trump? Haley responded saying, I respect her decision, but she can't say my decision is not principled. It actually is. Oh, this ought to be good. We can either vote based on style or we can vote on substance. Okay, I'm voting on substance. Are you going to be taking the substance first before you vote? Inquiring minds want to know. I'm looking at the fact that we can't live the next 4 years like we did the last 4 years. Oh, so you don't want an organized dispensing of vaccine to help fight a life-threatening pandemic. You don't want leadership that is trying to get the economy back on track and was one of the first countries to get their economy back on track and had the strongest economic recovery of any country in the nation. You don't want a country that passes the CHIPS Act to bring manufacturing jobs back, or the Inflation Reduction Act to cap the price of insulin at $35 a month, or to reduce costs on things. That's the kind of stuff you're not on about. Oh wait, Harris raised taxes, Trump reduced taxes. That would be wrong. Near as I can tell, first off, it's Biden, not Harris. Harris doesn't get to make these policy decisions, but Biden didn't raise taxes. It's been the same tax plan. There's been no adjustments to it. Harris wants to stop any energy production. Again, that would be Biden, and the U.S. is producing more oil now, which is an energy source, and they're outproducing the rest of the world. We're producing more oil now than we ever have in the past. Harris is weak on national security. Do you mean border security? Trump was strong on national security. Oh, so like those Mar-a-Lago documents that he's been hiding and not giving back and sharing those secrets to. That's being strong on security, national security. Got it. Harris has allowed the border to be infiltrated by 8 million people. Well, we don't know how many Trump let in, right? Because you didn't talk about that. Trump was much harder on the border. Yes, he was the hardest on the border, the hardest, biggest president on the border ever. I'm still waiting for Mexico to pay for the little segment of the wall that got built. Oh, remember Steve Bannon and his ilk, and they built a bunch of Trump supporters for millions of dollars for the build the wall that Trump didn't get built, that Mexico was supposed to pay for? Oh, how about the bipartisan bill to address all the issues at the border that was coming up, in late winter, early spring of this year, that Trump said he didn't want Republicans to back, so it got killed in Congress. Is that the tough on border person you're talking about? We should be very clear. If you don't like him, say you don't like him. I don't like him. But you can't say his policies are worse than Kamala Harris's. Yes, I can, because they're Joe Biden's policies, and they're worse than Biden's policies. Harris's policies will probably be similar to Biden's policies, and yeah, Trump's policies will be worse too. By the way, Trump really doesn't have policies. He just has vengeance and golf. Project 2025 is the policies y'all about to unroll, and that's going to take us back to the 50s, your favorite century. And 1950s. 1850s, and 1950s if you're just racist, 1850s if you're racist and misogynistic, and the 1750s if you're racist, misogynistic, and elitist. Anything before that? Yeah. So, there we have it. A little bit of a long intro, but I'm on fire. All right, so let's look at the energy between Liz Cheney and Nikki Haley. I know y'all give me a hard time for my Liz Cheney pumping here, but Nikki Haley, I mean, you don't like either one of them. I get that. But in this argument, you're going to reluctantly side with Liz Cheney because it's literally she's saying, how could you look at Donald Trump with any type of principle and say you're going to vote for him? And Nikki Haley is like, I'm all in, baby. She's worse than Liz Cheney. Nikki Haley is the threat. She's a bigger threat than Liz Cheney. Just saying. If Liz Cheney is MAGA, which she's not, but if she is, she's really quiet about it. Nikki Haley wears it like a badge of honor. Just saying. Entertainment purposes only. And let's turn the snark level up. The girls are fighting. How is that going? Okay. Foundation of the reading is the Eight of Cups. This is the breakup. This is the breakup. And it's interesting because you have two women that are having the argument. One on values. The argument's about values. And, I don't suppose that Liz Cheney is a big supporter of women's rights and being pro-choice and things along those lines. So we can leave that out. But it's your question. These two women who have long political careers from, I don't really think Nikki Haley came from a political family per se, but she's been governor, she's been an ambassador to the UN. Liz Cheney, her father was Dick Cheney. Oh yes. And let's offer our condolences, sunlight, to James Earl Jones's family after his passing today. I was about to make the comment that about Darth Vader here, and that reminded me of James Earl Jones. That was the other thing I wanted to talk about. So we lost an icon today in James Earl Jones, who was on Sesame Street too. All right, so we're talking about values here and differing values. And I think what's going to happen here is you're looking at two women that could be the leads of two different factions of a conservative party in the United States. I do believe that this is going to lead to the breakup of the GOP because the lines are being drawn. Current situation is the Four of Coins. The GOP is being held together by thoughts and prayers. And I don't mean the type for the victims of assault rifle deaths. But, money. The GOP's conservatives in general tend to be very tight. They don't want new things in. They're scared of change. They're scared of expansion. And both of these women have that issue to deal with, but they're dealing with it in different ways on different sides. But it's an emotional leaving. This is not the lockstep conservative party that Dick Cheney was leading during the early 2000s. Things are different now. They might be holding it together, but after this election, I wouldn't count on it. Past heartbreak, betrayal. First off, Liz Cheney trying to hold Donald Trump accountable for the January 6th insurrection. That is what... Talk about the minimum bar that you need. That was seen as a betrayal, and then she was primaried and kicked out of her job, basically, in Congress from Wyoming. And I do think she smarts about that, and she's a Cheney. She's going to get her pound of flesh right back from those who would do that to her. For Nikki Haley, I guess, watching Dick Cheney and Liz Cheney publicly speak out against dear leader to her is going to be a betrayal, because you're supposed to carry the party line. But again, in this case, to me, Nikki Haley is towing the party line because she wants the nomination. A little late for this year, but I do believe she wants the 2028 nomination, and she'll do whatever she needs to do to get it. Current situation, the Four of Cups. Back to Liz Cheney's comment about principles. How could you want 4 more years of this guy after you've seen what he's done? And Nikki Haley's point is, how could you want 4 more years of Kamala Harris and Joe Biden? Well, in this case, Kamala Harris. So they're stuck in different eras. Liz Cheney is looking at Donald Trump from 2020. Well, I guess that's true. I guess they're both looking at things from 2020 on. But Nikki Haley is looking at the current administration, whereas Liz Cheney is looking at what Trump did at the end of his administration. And there's nothing that was so bad with Harris and Biden that would make her want to vote for Trump. Overarching energy is the King of Wands. Okay. It's time to take action. And both women have strong masculine personalities. And they are willing to be the pallbearers for... not pallbearers, pole bearers for their political parties. I think I said it right the first time, but then I was like, did I say that right? The lesson to be learned: 10 of coins, money, legacy, DNA, heredity. Yeah, literally it's your legacy. This is for the history books, folks. It really is. What side of history do you want to be on? I do think that both will be the leaders of new factions of their party. You're going to have an old conservative and a new Christian conservative party. So yeah, I would expect you're going to have let's say the GOP doesn't exist anymore. You can have the Christian conservatives or something like that would be the Nikki Haley party, and Liz Cheney would be the Lincoln party or something like that. You know what I mean? The outcome is the Knight of Cups. Interesting. Now, the Knight of Cups, you could say, is an offer of friendship. Or it could be, a false friendship. I don't know if these two women are going to kiss and make up on this one. I really do think that it's going forward with your values, going forward with your principles here. Normally, I would expect to see a coins with this, but the cups... Again, the Republicans get really up in their emotions. And so it goes beyond value. It's the strong emotional component, the passion that goes with your values. These are two passionate women. And they're not on the same side of the coin. The coin's flipping on the same side of is flipping on the red part of the table, but they're not on the same side of the coin. One of them heads, one of them's tails. Yeah, I don't... what does the future hold for... that's kind of what I wanted to go with it. A future of Liz Cheney and and Nikki Haley. What is their, just a little four-carder, what does their, post-election, what does their relationship or their future relationship look like? I can't speak today. Now, will they still be fighting? Will the girls still be fighting? Told you so. You wanted this. No, that type of thing. I'm trying to come up with a really bad analogy of this. It's almost like Liz Cheney saying, you know, you shouldn't date that guy. Telling Nikki Haley, they're like two sisters. Don't date that guy. He's trash. And she's like, better than the guy you would be dating if, it's kind of like that. It's the, don't tell me what to do because your plans is distasteful to me. I'd rather stick with this plan because I have an exit strategy or something like that. All right, let's see. What does your future hold? 4-carder. Strength card. Is that a strength of struggle? Page of Pentacles. Talking about your values. Interesting. Let's see where we're going with this. We have a victory. There's that. This was the passion card I was telling you about. I was going to actually mention the Ace of Cups on that one. Wheel of Fortune. There's going to be a struggle between the two of them. This literally is going to be like an arm wrestling match of who's better, who's more right, who's more conservative, who's the real conservative here. And they both think they're right and they both think they should win, and things haven't been decided yet. If the best thing that can happen out of this is, Trump is corrupt. So Nikki Haley, at least Liz Cheney, again, if Nikki Haley were in the House, I'm sure she would have voted for Trump as often as Liz Cheney did. The difference is Nikki Haley doesn't seem to care about Trump's previous actions as long as it catapults her in political power. Liz Cheney's looking at it as like, you got to be kidding me. I'd rather have a country to be politically dominant over than a dictatorship. And they both are arguing that their point's the best. They both are passionate with it. They both think that they're right. And time will tell how this goes out. I would have a hard time seeing a reconciliation between the two. But politics makes for strange bedfellows. If Donald Trump wins, Nikki Haley is going to be all right, and Liz Cheney and Dick Cheney will be executed at dawn. If Kamala Harris wins, if there was going to be a reconciliation, it's going to have to be coming from Nikki Haley saying, maybe I was wrong on this one. I got too much in my feels with Donald Trump. I don't see that happening either. I think Nikki Haley has cast herself in her final political role here. This is going to be one of those instances where you're not going to be able to undo potential spam. This is one of those instances where you're not going to be able to undo your political stance. You chose to stand with the fascists. That's how history is going to remember you. And I think it's going to follow Nikki Haley to political irrelevancy. That doesn't mean that there won't be a rise in a MAGA-like political party that Nikki Haley would be the face of. But I don't think it will ever reach the power and scope that the GOP once had. All right. Any last words, Spirit? Little 7-carder. Anything else you would like us to know about the disagreement between Liz Cheney and Nikki Haley here? By the way, I don't want either one of them to be president. Just saying. Or I should say, if I'm going to vote for Liz Cheney for president, the Democratic candidate better be pretty horrific. I'll throw that out there. And I won't vote for Nikki Haley ever. All right, what else do you want us to know about Nikki Haley and Liz Cheney? Both very strong, passionate women. They're looking at their values and their principles. Okay. I think their relationship will cool down. They'll go their different ways now, but it could be that once things are calmed down again, they might start working together. So we'll see how that goes. Current situation is the Page of Swords. I think they're both nascent in their political careers, in the maturing of their political careers. Liz Cheney's more nascent than Nikki Haley. But they both have their ideas of where they want to go. They both have served in Congress. Now, mind you, Nikki Haley was a governor of a state, but Liz Cheney was also the number 3 Republican in the House from a strong political family. So they're up in the past. They were like the young guns. They are the new ones coming up. Current situation, what's going on with this? They're finding their own way. I think their paths are diverging at this point. Their values have diverged at this point. Who they're working with is different. They're arguing this over the airwaves, TV shows and such. But I think this divergence is speeding up. And the outcome is going to be the 9 of Cups. Yeah, one of them's going to be feeling, maybe both will feel pretty smug when it's all said and done. But on the short term, this is going to, Liz Cheney's going to be feeling it. Again, if this is Nikki Haley feeling smug, like, haha, I got everything I wanted, that means Trump won. And, be careful about that. Just be careful about that. I think in the end of the day, that 9 of Cups is going to be Liz Cheney, and her legacy is, they're at least on the right side of history as far as that goes. Assuming the history books don't get rewritten in favor of Trump. And the only way that happens is if Trump becomes president again and dictator for life. And we're not going to allow for that, right? And how are we not going to allow for that? We're going to go to vote.org and register to vote. And if you've already registered to vote, go to vote.org, enter in your information, and confirm that you're still registered to vote. I literally did this today. It took me about 2 minutes to do it. And the reason why I only took 2 minutes to do it was I typed in my my address, and I forgot one letter at the end. No, you've got like boulevard or drive or lane or circle. I dropped the final letter. I thought I had typed it. I didn't. And so it said, you're not registered to vote. What? And I look at it, it's like, oh, can't even spell your address right. When I spelled it right, I'm still registered to vote. I put a link in my community page. You can use that hyperlink to check it out. It's safe. That's the link I used. If not, just type vote.org and do it yourself. Again, especially if you are in a battleground state or states like Georgia, Texas. I don't know if Wisconsin and Michigan have been doing this too, Pennsylvania for sure. There's been a lot of places that have been purging their voter rolls. The Republicans are looking for excuses to get people off the voter rolls because typically the ones that make errors on their, if they've moved or their address isn't spelled right or their address doesn't align with something else, maybe more Democrats or young people fall into that, and they tend to vote for the Democrats anyways. So double check it. Make sure you're registered. It's worth doing. It takes very little time. Again, thank you very much for watching this video and supporting my channel. Again, our condolences to the James Earl Jones family, and send a lot of light to Kamala during the debate that's happening on September 10th. Thank you for watching this channel and supporting it. I do appreciate it. This reading is for entertainment purposes only, and I'll catch you on the next video. Take care.